I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
It's Matt once again, welcome back to another video, and this is a request for Broad Stipe. Thank you so much for that. If anyone wants to request any other type of reviews, re-reviews, reviews of movies or something else, topics, reactions, pretty much any type of stuff, you just send the request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, the review for today is for The Debt Collector. Now, The Debt Collector, I've seen this film before, and I remember not really liking it. And I did not know there was a sequel. And that's also a request from Broad Stipe. And I'll say this, I think the sequel is better than this. I do. I think the sequel, while the sequel does not have as much action as this, I thought the sequel had a better handling on the characters, the banter between the two leads, and just a more satisfying story compared to this, because this one is directed by Jesse V. Johnson, and he is a definition of a hit and miss director, at least for me, because I really enjoy some of the stuff he's done with Scott Adkins, who's the star of this film. Accident Man, had fun with that one. Avengement, I think Avengement is one of Scott Adkins' best movies, and easily one of his best performances. But for every one of those, then there's a triple threat, which is very disappointing. He did The Package, which I had in mind, with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Dolph Lundgren. But then he did this film. This film was disappointing because Scott Adkins teams up with Louis Mandylor, who I remember from, actually, from this. Louis Mandylor was on this TV show, which you see right here. And which that's an underrated show, honestly. I believe I did a review of that on the channel. Now, Scott Adkins, he needs his money for his gym. And you know what? It starts out promisingly enough. And the first half of the film I could deal with, although it felt a bit repetitive. Because the fight scenes are fairly good. Honestly, the fight scenes are fairly good. Scott Adkins fights these three guys in his gym. He needs help because his gym is going to close down. He talks to Michael Pare. Michael Pare's only in the scene. He's only in the film for like three or so scenes. Sadly. And Michael Pare goes, hey, you really don't want this job, but you're adamant about it, so okay, here goes. Here's a job at being a debt collector. You don't work with this guy, Louis Mandylor, who's been doing it for a while. Louis Mandylor's character is a bit more of a boxer. Scott Adkins more into martial arts. And again, while the first half was fun, but it was repetitive. What I mean by that is they go to a place, they either fight to collect a debt, or they interrogate someone, then they get to another place, fight or interrogate, go to another place, interrogate, another place, till at the death, fight. I mean, I love fighting as much as the next guy. But in this, which is weird, because I have a film over there that's literally the movie's like almost one fight scene. Like consistent fight scenes. Called Attack the Yakuza. It's under a different title. I reviewed it long ago. That felt less repetitive than this. I think because you're trying to get to know a bit of the characters and their banter seem okay. And I like the fight scenes. One guy, Stack, is holding to the car door. He's being dragged and he punches the guy. There's another guy, like a bigger guy, who throws him around, throws him through walls. There's a point where Skyak is just his money from a guy, while Luz Mandalore is a girl's riding him, fucking him. They stop, and there's a bunch of guys in the middle of the road that wants their shit, and they fight them. Like I said, that's pretty much what it is for the first half of the movie. The weird thing was, it would from time to time cut to this black and white shots of cows. And I'm like, this doesn't mean when I first saw it. I knew what it was watching it now. But when I first saw it, I went, why the fuck do we keep cutting the cows? This black and white artsy-fartsy bullshit of cows. And Scott Adkins and Luz Mandalore, they actually work fine together. I think they do that a lot better in the sequel. But, you know, they do have some decent back and forth. Like Luz Mandalore, apparently he was in some ninja flicks in the past. There's like there's a poster, a B movie, where he's the ninja in it. But like I said, while I'm enjoying some of the fight scenes, a little bit of the banter, again, like my review, it's getting repetitive. Because it's like, okay, what else is there? Maybe a bit more to the characters, or a bit more of the banter, or a bit more. So then you introduce to Tony Todd. Tony Todd wants the two of them to go get this guy, get something from him. Oh, this guy's been taking stuff from me. Scott is talking about how, you know, this job's getting to him already, and he's not here to beat women, and which is understandable. There's a point where he fights a cook in a diner, and it keeps cutting back to this artsy black and white stuff. I'm like, why? Why is it doing this? Then you get to the third act, and you know why. Some artsy fartsy bullshit. Which makes no sense, especially when you get to the sequel. It makes absolutely zero fucking sense. Because spoiler alert, spoilers, in the last 10-15 minutes, it feels like it wants to be a different film. Like the first chunk of the movie seems like it wants to be this fun, fly on the wall movie. These two guys just doing the business, A to B to C. It seems like there's not really a story going on. It's just random here, random there, random. I think that's the thing. There wasn't really a story going on. It's just, we gotta go to this random, collect this debt. Go to this random person, go to this random person, go to this random person. There's no through line. And then, like, in the last 15 minutes, Tony Todd, I want you to get to this guy. They go to the guy. The guy has a daughter. The guy tells about how he was with this girl who's pregnant, and Tony Todd stabbed the shit out of her because he was mad that a girl loved this guy, not Tony Todd. And then guys are coming to kill him and maybe the girl, or, you know, the little girl. And then our two leads are like, well, fuck that shit. That's bullshit. And then they have the shootout. And half the time I'm wondering, what the fuck, why is Scott Adkins' character missing? I swear it was established he was in the military. But he's from here to the wall, and he's missing with an automatic machine gun. And the guy just... I'm like, what the fuck? Worse aim than stormtroopers. And that's our heroes. So I guess that's a change of pace. So then Louis Mandylor gets shot 3-4 times. Boo, 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 boo. He dies. Scott gets shot up. You have footage, cuts the footage of cows taken to the slaughter. The guy who's friends with Louis Mandylor shoots Tony Todd because he betrayed them. The guy and his daughter, the little girl, get away. Scott Adkins gets in the car. He's holding his neck. He does this. Cut to the guy and his daughter having some fucking conversation about the little girl asking, do cows have a good life before they turn to steak? And the guy goes, sure, they like eating the daisies and they roll around the grass. The director must have smoking some fucking grass with this ending. And then it makes no fucking sense till you get to the sequel. Number one, you did a sequel where you pretty much killed your two lead characters. Which they do explain why they're alive. Which, that's like the one flaw of the sequel. Well, that and I wish there was a bit more action. But, see, the sequel didn't have that artsy-fartsy bullshit. Again, it didn't, at the last 10 minutes, become a different fucking movie. All of a sudden, it thinks it's a Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid, or Bonnie and Clyde. I mean, like, why did the director even do this? It seemed like the director understood his mistakes, though, to be fair. Because, again, he did not put any of that artsy-fartsy shit in the sequel. That's just called Debt Collectors. Or The Debt Collector 2. And people may go, well, man, will you be fine with the movie since they do live in the sequel? But it makes this film even more pointless. Because, okay, then why the fuck did you put all this bullshit about cows and the slaughter and A Good Life Before It Turned to Steak? And then you did a sequel where they're alive. And you're like, no, I'm going to keep them alive. So then you look at this film and it becomes even more pointless and stupid that you put this bullshit in there. You know what? If you had a bit more of character interaction with Louis Mandylor and Scott Adkins, a bit more of a story, and do away with that stupid fucking 10 minutes, I'd be like, this is perfectly serviceable. This is perfectly serviceable film. Scott Adkins doing this thing, kicking ass, Louis Mandylor, have some decent dialogue with Scott Adkins, okay. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. But that ending was just fucking stupid. I wish I could know what the fuck Jesse Johnson, the director's mentality was in doing that. I don't get it. And then not many Scott Adkins films get sequels. I mean, Scott Adkins is a guy I like, done disputed sequels. Close Range, underrated film. Avengement, solid film. Ninja, Shadow of a Tear, perhaps my favorite of his. And more. I mean, he's done a lot of good stuff. So, again, I looked at this and I go, no sequel to Accident Man. You know, no sequel to... Well, there's a sequel to Ninja, Shadow of a Tear, to be fair. And then undisputed sequels. But, I'm surprised there was not an Accident Man 2 before a Debt Collector 2, but okay. Because, again, they're both from the same director. But it is one of those things, I do think the sequel is better than the original. Because it had a more of a story, had more of a goal that was being reached, a follow-through line instead of seemingly random, and then black and white artsy shots of cows going to the slaughter. And then this stupid ending where you kill both your heroes, your leads, when most of the films seem like a fun jaunt. And now, here's this depressing shit. And we'll give you a message. Are you against meat? Or you love meat? I don't even get what the message is. You're against meat, but you love meat. I guess maybe you love meat because you're eating the steak. And yeah, we love the steak. The cows are good. But you're anti-meat. Let me show the cows and look, they get slaughtered. But I love the meat, so yeah. I mean, I don't even know if you're anti-meat or for meat. Why are we even having this conversation? Shouldn't be part of a fucking Scott Adkins action movie that's advertised being just a fun time. So the ending ruined the film for me. Among some of the other problems. Tony Todd, cool to see Tony Todd, but anybody could have played him. Michael Pare, again, he's in like 3-4 scenes. Tony Todd, yeah, just technically 3-4 scenes with him too. Some of the action scenes were fun. Maybe if someone made an edit, well, I don't know. You honestly, you could skip and watch the sequel and not be confused. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the sequel now, since that was another request, and talk about why I think it's a better movie. So we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.